Happy New Year to all you guys. But you know what, Sony, I don't really think you are having a good time. While you are busy counting the 700 you're trying to scam out of people for the PS5 Pro, the community was busy taking your soul. It's January 2026 and PS5 is officially, permanently and hilariously and for all his lifetime ever, if PS6 also comes, Sony and PlayStation, they are cooked. The Master BootROM keys, the literal root trust are out. Yeah, you hear me out, people. They are hidden server, they are on the every modded Discord. And the hero of the story, you know who is it? Oh man, this thing, it will blow your mind. It is a $10 budget port of a PS2 pod racing game that we don't even remember. You remember this game? Star Wars Racer's Revenge. Sony, you spent billions on security and you got taken down by Jar Jar Binks. That isn't a fumble, man. That's a generational embarrassment. You have 1,12,000 employees and not one of them realized that the 24-year-old game was backdoor to your entire multi-billion-dollar. What the hell, Sony, what the hell? See, I'm not really a hacker or anything, but I do understand BootROM keys, like when in 2011, when it happened, in the PS3, we could install any games from the ISO image and we could run that. We don't really need the disk. I even did that, so I know. So when now it happened to PS5, you understand, man? PS5 games are out on the market because of a one $15 game that Sony forget to patch. Or Sony even don't remember that game. Now the entire Sony boot key is on the Discord, man. It could be easily hacked. And when I say on the hardware, I meant to say how many consoles Sony ever made or PS5 can be hackable. And when I say if even one hacker get that thing, you understand what he will go? He will go for a bloodbath. Because Sony is a fucking douchebag. There are so many games gamers want. They will pay for those games. But Sony are so adamant that they won't release those games on PC by their platform. That's what they say. You know, Bloodborne on Sony PS4 and Infamous Second Son are some of the examples I want to say. So, what do you think now, huh? Hackers will go for a bloodbath. Okay, let's talk. Let's really talk in simple way you guys could understand. Why Sony is sweating? Most hacks are software. Sony needs a stability update and we move on. But these keys, they are burned into the silicon. They are etched into the AMD processor with a laser. You can't update a physical chip in someone's living room. Sony, you are currently in the captain seat of the Titanic and Iceberg is your pod racer. Every single PS5 Pro Slim and base model or whatever you have ever sold is currently in a box, is now taking type bomb for a custom hardware. And if one people has done it now, you can guess many millions are on their way to fuck your ass. You can patch it, you can hide it. The way you only can fix is to manufacture a whole new console in a year, where we have a global RAM crisis and hardware prices are skyrocketing. Sony has to choose. Either recall their 80 million consoles or sit and watch as they turn their wall garden into a Linux playground. Can you hear the villain laugh? I can. I am laughing all the way to the 750 Ti. What I meant to say, 750 Ti is my GPU. It's a dependable card and it plays what game I want to play. But what I want you people to understand, see, SAT PS4 is an emulator that could run PS4 games. But PS4 games and the processor that they run on a PS4 console is very complex. The SAMA processor or what its name is, I don't really remember, but it's complex. So people are still not ever to reverse engineer the whole game. So we need an emulator, and when we need an emulator, it takes lot of performance out of the card, but a GTX 750 Ti still can run Bloodborne. You people really understand? In an emulator, a Bloodborne could be run on a 750 Ti. So what would happen if the people could reverse engineer it? And Sony, you people fucking did that. Oh, great job, you fucking losers. Because as soon this boot key will land onto hackers' hands, what do you think will happen? a Bloodborne CD would be get into this homebrew PS5 now that could be hacked by anyone, and your game could be reverse engineered, because PS5 has this thing, legacy system, so that your PS4 game can natively support the PS5. So from PS5 they can copy that image and reverse engineer the whole game. I'm just making this a theory. I don't know how much this theory is a bullshit or could be true. So it's upon you guys. Tell me, is it true? It could be done or it could not be. I'm not really a tech genius. I'm just a gamer. And now the real reason we all are here. Like I mentioned, Bloodborne. Sony, you have been ignoring us for the 11 years. You thought you could keep this game locked in a 30 FPS basement forever. Well, the community just picked the lock. We don't need you remastered. We don't need your $70 price tag. Because of these leak keys, hackers are moving beyond the emulation and into native recompilation. We are taking the 4K 100 FPS and the ultimate insult. It's gonna run on a GTX 750 Ti. Imagine that, man. It's just my theory. A budget GPU from 2014 playing your fucking crown jewel, baby. Better than your PS5 Pro. This is just a hack. It's a DD move. DD level move of pure disrespect. You refuse to sell it to us, so we can not have it, and we need to have your console. And while you were at it, we just did the opposite. And you know what? We will also take the Demon's Souls and Infamous, as because what do you think hackers will do? When one thing is cracked, they will go for the bloodbath. The exclusivity era is over. We already know that Sony has been releasing most of his games on PC. It's over, man. Bloodborne and Infamous to PC before hackers do. I just want to say this, Sony, you fucking lost. You lost the keys to the castle and we are moving the furniture to the PC. Sony thinks they can distract us with Resident Evil 9 and Pragmata next month, that will most likely would be on their platform. They think they are going to line up us to buy more hardware. Wrong. The hacker's speed is now Sonic speed. Hackers are not slowpokes. They are waiting for your biggest week of the year to drop their definitive native PC ports of every game you're trying to hide. It's my speculation. It can't be correct. It could be wrong. It could be a coordinated bloodbath. Your stock price will already be shaking now, man. It is already shaking. An investor will realize that the PlayStation exclusive is now just a suggestion, not a fact. You are trying to charge $80 for a vertical stand while the community is giving away your entire history for free. The unreal is real, and the smell of the ozone coming from Sony server is the only stability we are getting this year. See, I said a lot of things on pure speculation I could find. I don't really know how much of it's correct, but I know this thing. Sony has been hacked. Sony boot key is now on the open, and when it happened to PS3, we know what type of devastation it could bring. So PS5, now that has a legacy system that can help us to play PS4 game natively to PS5 by just inserting a disc. And you understand, man, the boot key is now on the open, so people could and will reprogram or reverse engineering, as you say, the game to run natively on PC. It's my pure speculation. It could be correct, it could not be. Yeah, just that. So I will go with a grain of salt, or I will go with a bazooka now. This is the reality for 2026. Sony is in corner. Their security is a fucking joke now, and the noobs are winning. You tried to play the long game, Sony, but you forgot. The internet never sleeps. You wanted a closed ecosystem. Well, the Windows just got smacked by a pod racer. If you are watching this from Sony HQ, maybe stop sending DMC a notice and start wondering how you got clowned by SEBULBA. The villain laugh is just getting started. If you have a 750 Ti, dust it off. Your time is coming. And salty Sony, we are gonna mod Bloodborne to the upper limits if it ever comes to PC. So, salty Sony, if you won't give it to me, the hackers will someday. Capiche? So let's wrap this whole thing into the back. As of January 2026, the PlayStation 5 is a wall guarded with no walls, if you people don't really understand. What really happened was a hacker named Gazine used an unpatched bug from 2002 hidden inside CUSA 03474 to trigger the master code exploit from firmware 12.00. They didn't get a save game exploit, they leaked the level 0 BootROM keys. This is the nuclear option, guys. These keys are the physical root of trust for the PS5. Because these keys are etched into the silicon Sony stuff. They can patch a physical chip. Every PS5 Pro you ever see getting sold for $700 is now just a Bloodborne machine waiting to happen. That $10 game is now being sold for $400 on eBay. Sony's security so bad, they accidentally turned the mediocre pod racing game into most valuable asset in gaming, and it would go into history down as most unbelievable thing Sony ever did. Sony you spent billions on your ecosystem and it was taken down by a 24-year-old game featuring SEBULBA. This isn't just a L, that's a total set down. Oh man, I'm very happy.